Ashley, who will introduce our next commencement speaker. Good morning. There was not a moment's hesitation in my response when our next speaker, Kevin Petro, asked me to introduce him at today's ceremony. It's the least I can do for a student who has given so much to the band program and to me over the past 4 years, even if it meant I had to climb out of the orchestra pit and up the backstage stairs to the stage to do so. One of the benefits of being a band director is that I have the opportunity to work with and get to know the students throughout all 4 years of their high school career. Kevin has been an integral part of our band program, and more specifically the percussion section. If you know Kevin, you know he's a student who likes to set goals, and then methodically and meticulously work toward achievement. I've enjoyed watching Kevin and his goals grow and mature. His lofty goal as a 9th grade band student was to learn to flip his drumsticks in the air and perfect the technique of catching them before they dropped on the floor. You can imagine how pleased I was when he accomplished this goal. Kevin's goal as a 10th grader is to become the loudest snare drummer in parades and halftime shows. Fortunately, his skill level grew as his volume grew. Kevin sets a high standard and in a quiet, determined way consistently strives to do his best. As an upperclassman, he has taken on the role of percussion section spokesperson. When a question is asked of the section, such as, why isn't anyone playing the timpani part, or who dropped the cymbals, I usually hear one voice respond with clarity and confidence. Of course, with Kevin, it's never a quick, hasty reply. There's often a slight pause, followed by a thoughtful, often humorous answer delivered with the utmost courtesy and respect. Kevin's ability to quietly lead is admirable. Kevin's more recent role in band has been as a mentor to younger band students, and it is in the words of fellow percussionists and band students that Kevin's strength of character is best illustrated. He is described by these students as helpful, patient, witty, contemplative, quiet, musically creative, non-judgmental, sincere, and genuine. To that I would add his sensitivity, compassion, and his maturity, all characteristics that define this young man. At this time, it's my pleasure to welcome to the podium not only a percussionist extraordinaire, but an extraordinary young man. It is my honor and privilege to present Kevin Petro.
Thanks, Mrs. Ashley. I thought I was just okay, but apparently I'm amazing. Hello, everyone. I would first like to take the time to congratulate all of you on fending off the encroaching senioritis long enough so that you can sit before me today. It was an honor to go through my school years with all you guys. And now, I know that even if you barely knew me during those school years, I'll always be that kid who talked to you at graduation. It feels pretty good to know that. It's nice to be remembered. I'd like to start off this speech with a little story about my dad's graduation. I've probably heard this one about 15 times a year. He's that big a fan of it. But fortunately, I'm a pretty big fan of it too. Now, when my dad was going to school, the custom there was for the valedictorian and the salutatorian, which are the people with the 2 highest averages in the grade, to give the graduation speeches. My dad has said that the valedictorian speech was, really nice and inspirational at the time, but now it's all just a faded memory to him. On the other hand, the speech given by the salutatorian, whose name was Jerry Graw, stands out quite vividly in his mind. To this day, my dad doesn't know if Jerry's speech was a product of simply not caring that much, wanting to joke around one last time, or maybe if it was just severe procrastination. But when Jerry got up there on that stage, all he said to the graduates assembled before him was, "Go for it!" And then Jerry just got up and walked right off. Jerry's poor mother. Unlike Jerry, though, I would not have been able to have this honor if my speech had consisted of a grand total of 3 words. And I know that my mom would take quite a while to forgive me for a speech like that, if at all. Although, I'm pretty sure that my dad would be okay with it. So, instead, I came up here to talk about the phrase, "go for it," and what those words can mean if you look at them the right way. With the phrase, "go for it," there's a tendency to take it as an invitation to act without thinking. It can easily be seen as an encouragement to just go out and do whatever you feel like doing. Doing the things that are not exactly the intelligent or recommended things to do. There's also the interpretation of it being that whenever you're faced with a choice, just pick the more awesome one of the two and go for it. Yeah! But I've thought about it, and I think that if you actually want to take these words seriously, then you don't want to take either of those 2 options. I think that the power of these words is that they can act as a stimulus for you when you encounter a very tough decision in your life. This is a decision where you know what the right course of action is, but that course is much harder than the other, easier one. It can be harder from reasons of peer pressure, social pressure, extreme nervousness, or whatever the case may be. Maybe you realize that people will look at you differently for that action you take. And maybe you expect retaliation from others as a consequence for that potential action. Life is full of these choices. It's inescapable. We've all already experienced this by this point in our lives. Bullies, general meanness, and countless other examples that exist in middle and high school alone, not even to mention outside of school. In a situation like this, I believe that the words "go for it" represent a call. A call to make that harder decision anyway, despite the cost to yourself, knowing that it is the right thing to do. I believe that with these words, you can push yourself to take the metaphorical leaps that you may have been frightened away from otherwise. I believe that these words can cause you to act more courageously. Guys, we can't all be Jack Bauer from 24, but you don't need to be to make a difference. I believe that if you take these words the right way, they can push you to become a better person, both in your own eyes and in the eyes of the people who care about you, even if it takes them time to realize that. And I certainly believe that if we all decide to take this harder path, then great things can be accomplished. Things greater than the simple scope of ourselves to which we may otherwise be confined. This is my challenge to you, to all of you out there in the audience. Do not just take the easy way out. Push your limits and push yourself to become a better person as well. And above all else, in the words of Jerry Groff himself, go for it.